All right, let's take a look at Colonel Blair's montage that was featured in PC Gamer. We'll go over the article after that. Let's get straight into it. All right. Even the capes have jetpacks in this game. That's an important thing to see. These are community clips from all over. And that's disgusting. Mid-air kill. Wow. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. These are the normal thing. There you go. If you're slow, make your bullets go fast and far with the mortar. Beautiful shot there. Somebody actually killing with the sniper, something I haven't been able to do yet. That's a beautiful mine kill there as well. Leading with that sniper is not easy. It's over a long distance. A little bit of chasing, which is quite difficult to do currently. Actually catching up to a flag carrier when he's actually out at speed. That was good. Oh, here it comes. Those are the kind of shots that make you come back. Yeah, that's a beautiful lead shot on as well on the sniper there. That's not easy at all. Ooh. That was with the heavy spin fuser as well. Another sniper shot. All right, fine. I'm going to learn the sniper, all right? And that's what the flag carrier is made for. Nice clean out exit there. That's, yeah, addictive to say the least. Here again. And he's out. Full health. Did get nitron there though. And a flag pass mid-air, square in the sky. Oh, he lost all of his speed, didn't matter. Killed everything and grabbed the flag. Don't know if he's gonna make it far though. Clip cuts out right there. How even. Beautiful. Yeah, bam, instant return. Again, a rising shot. These are difficult things to do, but all of these players have been doing this for a very long time and are coming back to this game now. Here we go, some mortar shots, clearing everything here. Where even? Beautiful, but yeah. These are the kind of shots, if you've made your first one of these, there's no going back. That's what you're doing. That's what you want to play. And that's why us Tribes players are as special as we are. Anyway, let's go look at the article, shall we? Alright, let's go over the article on PC Gamer here. A new Tribes game is coming next year and it's not free to play. We made some mistakes in how we monetized Ascend, it quotes. Yeah, that is one thing that right when everything was going on, we weren't, well, I would say the competitive community wasn't really aware of. Most of us were beta players and we would have stacked up so many free points basically to purchase anything coming out. That, yeah, we were spending money to host servers and stuff. But one of the major problems that, again, we only realized afterwards, or I did anyway. Some of the releases were heavily overpowered. You bought them and then they had to nerf them to the ground. The Infiltrator, the invisible class, was one. Several of its weapons, especially its main weapon, were banned straight off. And you had to unlock every single piece and it was a lot of grinding. Yeah. The competitive community kind of ignored it because most of us were beta players, which meant we had double the experience points and double the free money that we got throughout the game's history. But yeah, so the monetization for Tribes apparently was, for high-res at least, the nail in the coffin. And of course, here's the montage that we've already seen. It's been 25 years since the original Tribes, formerly known as Star Siege Tribes, made a splash in the world of online shooters, and more than a decade since the release of the most recent entry in the series, the ill-fated Tribes Ascend. Now, I have quite a few opinions about that game, mostly because of how embedded I was back in the day, and that I was somewhat hoping that there might still be a career there somewhere, especially in casting and community organizing and everything like that. And we were on the verge of, I believe, creating an esport for Tribes Ascend. almost everyone who was around Tribes Ascend, well, a significant portion of them scattered into the esports world. There's a lot of people who worked at different developers and went on to do their own thing. Yeah, so the people were there 10 years ago. So now a new one is on the way called Tribes 3 Rivals, which is taking signups for a limited playtest planned to be held over the next several months. So do sign up for it. It's been more popular than they expected, but yeah, people are getting in. We're getting a playtest tomorrow, so that's great. Historically, Tribes games have supported various multiplayer modes, but they're really all about capture the flag. This is true. Two teams battling to snatch each other's banners and hustle them back to their own base without getting wasted. What sets it apart from the crowd were its large, wide open battlefields and high-speed mobility. One of the series' most distinguishing features is skiing, which began as an exploit in the original game and was then added as an official feature to Tribes 2. Yeah, so it was a bug, the developers knew about it, so they kept it in the game, and then the rest is history. But Tribes 1 was originally made for yeah, just jetpacking and then using vehicles and everything like that. So it was more of a battlefield kind of thing with jetpacks, an offshoot of their mech game, which preceded it. That's why you have the loadouts and the different weapons that you could load in, because it was basically a mech game, but with people with jetpacks instead of mechs. So it allows players to pick up an incredible amount of speed by sliding down slopes, which combined with a jetpack and a good route lets them soar and glide across large maps in seconds, snatching the enemy flag like a bird of prey swooping down from the sky. This is one of the things, I think, because I will be making a movement tutorial and stuff, that I'm still breaking my head around. How can you quickly and easily explain the idea of skiing? Well, by showing it, and the connections between, you know, you jet up, gotta get up to get down. So jet up, ski down, the slopes are important because it doesn't exist anywhere else. A little bit in Apex, we got the example in Apex, but sliding down a hill, kind of like that. All right. The Tribe series peaks with Tribes 2. Okay. I have nothing in this fight. I am completely and utterly neutral, which was a significant success when it came out in 2001. Tribes Vengeance followed in 2004 with a full-on single-player campaign, but didn't do so well, although I liked it a lot. Well, more power to you. And after that, the series sat until 2012 when Hi-Rez Studios took a run at the free-to-play market with Tribes Ascend. We rated it very highly. It was a good game, but it struggled to find an audience. It lost an audience. The final update was released in 2016, and less said about that, the better. It was removed from sale on Steam a couple of years later. Yeah, 2016 was already dead and gone. It was just a little... But, yeah, so no, Tribes Ascend was a good game. It had the core for it, but I think retroactively, 2020 vision afterwards, they were working on a much tighter schedule than we thought, and we, as the competitive community, didn't really look down too much, and we expected things that we took for granted to just be there, like demos, servers, lots of balance changes, maps, redesigning of maps, so many maps, which provided me a way to not become, or to evolve away from being an idea guy and actually learn how to do that thing myself. But then suddenly the development stopped. Like, yeah, we're done. What? No. So yeah, hopefully the development can stay active longer, and we can have a more coherent feedback system, which is, I hope, well, we'll see with the new playtest, right? This is Tomorrow, this is being recorded when tomorrow is the second playtest, and see what the differences are. I'm not expecting a lot of mapping changes. I'm expecting more physics and stuff, but we'll see, right? But I think, especially now, there's a lot. I'm gonna jinx myself here, but there is a more cool approach to the feedback now from the community as well. We know more now, and I think the post-mortem of TA is an important one. All right, so, but now it's back, and yeah, it sure sounds a lot like Tribes. That's not what the sentence is. And yeah, it sure sounds like a Tribes game. Players ski, jetpack battle. Those who know. No. Yes. And race to capture the enemy team's flag, all while ferociously defending their own. The Tribes 3 Rivals Steam listing says players can choose from unique classes to customize their abilities, perks, and weapon loadouts, while moving across epic terrains from epic implies size, but more on that later. From snow-covered peaks to haunting deserts, that's the 2 maps, yeah. Teamwork, currently, that's the 2 maps. Teamwork, tactics, and high speed, and intense combat reign supreme in this rebirth of the world's fastest shooter. On paper, yes, I still think Half-Life 1 deathmatch is the most insane thing, but that's purely out of a Twitch reaction, the kind of thing. Tribes is, in distance, the fastest. But in reaction, actually much slower, because it's more methodical. It's not a Twitch shooter. Especially now that the snipers are even projectile, you're actually... it's cerebral, and thinking too much about your shot, you're gonna miss. So the focus, the leading of shots is actually much more gentle and much more... A lot of things are happening, yes, but there is a calmness to it sometimes as well, especially in chasing. Flying through, capping can be coming into explosions and everything, but that few moments before you touch down high up in the sky is serene almost. All right. In a chat with PCGAMER, developer Prophecy Games said it's wanted to bring Tribes back for a while, and the time seemed right. High movement team shooters have become more popular in the last decade, and we've recently seen strong signs that fans were nostalgic for a return to the franchise. A gaggle of old men bobbing in their chairs in the padded cells that they were reduced to. Yes, there is always a hankering for Tribes. And the thing is, like a vacuum cannot exist. Something will appear magically in the vacuum if there is nothing there. Tiny little big bangs of Tribes projects. In the last 2 years, I have been a part of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects, some of which were just little puffs of smoke, others are more stable. And then this happened, we got blindsided completely. It's like, I guess Tribe now. And this one's really stirred everything. But there are other projects still. So, you know, I hope this works. I really want it to work, and I'll put my best foot forward in the capacity I can to try and help this out, especially in the mapping department. Gameplay balance, I'm going to stay away from for now. There's other better people out there that can deal with that, people who actually know how to shoot a spin fuser. But I'll stand on my hills to die on, my own and forged hills to die on. But yeah, there is a potential. Again, there are similar... No, there are no similar games. Yes, there are more arcadey games currently. Fortnite has movement, Apex has movement, but the biggest difference is that Tribes is of a different pedigree. It is not a reduced game, by which I mean there are no buttons to press. You can have some abilities and they come from Ascend, but I mean, you have Tribes, you have Quake, you have those kind of games, hardcore mechanical games that force you to play the mechanic, the physics. You're not pressing buttons to move. You are harnessing the physics, the actual way the game interacts with the player, the environment interacting with the player. That is what Tribes is. And that's why I'm scared about skiing and onboarding people to it. Because ski down, hill fast is the concept, but there's, depending on what the physics are going to end up like, there are going to be some nuances and stuff that are going to be very difficult to learn, kind of like strafe jumping and stuff in Quake. It is of that pedigree. My first glance impression was that Tribes 3 looks an awful lot like Tribes Ascend, and Prophecy said that that game is the starting point for the new one. The movement, maps, weapons, classes, and art in Tribes 3 should all feel similar to what players enjoyed before, a decade ago. There are going to be a lot of people who say this looks like Halo, and that's correct, because Tribes 1 was an inspiration for Halo, that's the thing. Now, yeah, starting point, mostly just assets that they're porting over, and a few from that game that should not, that other game that, you know, that Zone, and they had some models for that as well. Where Tribes Ascend fell short was in its monetization model. According to Prophecy, we made some mistakes in how we monetized Ascend in the past and have learned from them. So if you're confused about this, they say we have made some mistakes. Ascend was high res. This is Prophecy. Clarify. Prophecy started as a subsidiary of high res, split off, but Erez, who owns both still, is now CEO of Prophecy, so he owns both is partial owner of both those companies. So a lot of the devs went over to Prophecy for this project, for the Star Siege project, so Dead Zone Raiders, and then Ascend, I was almost about to say, but Ascend 2, Tribes 3. So when they say we, they were there. Same people, or large part anyway. And then a few younger people have no idea what's going on. Alright. The base game will cost $20 with all gameplay items like weapons, perks, and abilities available to everyone from the start. Thank heavens for that. While cosmetic items, emotes, and voice packs will be available for purchase and in some cases unlockable through gameplay. Give people the biggest, most expensive skin, give it all the lighting, give it a special trail that goes behind them, so they are so much easier to shoot. That's what I want. Anyway, another important new area for the game is matchmaking and ranked gameplay, which were not available in Ascend, but will be a core component of Tribes 3, Prophecy said. This updated approach will keep matches more competitive and fair, and will allow players to compete for the highest ranks. Additionally, will make Tribes 3 more approachable for the new player and their friends from the start through an in-game practice lobby, tutorial videos, and how-to guides. Okay, so this, of course, is a point of contention. There are the old schoolers that say we want servers and we want everyone to be together, and then of course the whole matchmaking thing. Right, so my opinion, condensed as I can, is as followed. I too, when I started playing shooters, which was actually Medal of Honor and Call of Duty 1, we learned from the people better than us. We got completely trounced in the pubs, and then we did our clan wars, we did our little competitions, and those were in closed servers. And we were balanced through the leagues we played in. But the pub play was there were one or two people who are better, and instead of being angry at them, we looked up to them and tried to beat them and became better than them. That's how I learned. But especially with a game like Tribes, if there is one, because that's the pedigree of the Quake style play. In Quake, if you are worse than the player you're playing against, you have no chance. There is no chance. You will maybe get a frag, but you will not win. There is no possibility. If you know a few things less than the other player, strafe jumping, the maps and everything. In Tribes, it is the same thing. If there is, on your team, there is a capper who knows what he's doing, he'll probably clear out the map by himself. And especially, that was even true in larger games. In 14 versus 14, if there's one or two cappers and everyone else doesn't know what they're doing, they will clean out the map on their own. So matchmaking, it will make it so that everyone at least knows a little bit what they were doing, but this is going to be very difficult to quantify. And I've heard things said by the developers and everything, and I'm confident that they can have a good division of skill, how to find, you know, how a player is better or not. Because if you're a capper, you're only going to be running routes. You won't be having a lot of kills. So how fast are you going on average? Flags you're taking, everything like that. How many flag attempts, how many flag caps. Attempts much more actually as important, but metric speed and a capping attempt. If you're not, you can cheese your way by just standing on the flag stand and throwing it off. And I did 50 grabs this game, but guess we never scored. Those kind of things. It's difficult, but I'm hopeful that it'll work. Now, the new player onboarding is something that even before this game, like in other projects, it's like the onboarding for new players is going to be paramount. I believe you only get maybe 30 seconds to a minute for a first impression. And if you don't get people to go fast in that window, then we're all screwed. Because in Tribes Ascend, there's a story, I'll put it on video now so I can stop repeating it. When we were in the beta for Ascend, dry dock, big map, very beautiful showcase map, not really well balanced, 2 hills and the base on a flat plateau. We were flying across the air because you could go insane speeds on dry dock because there were immense hills in the background that weren't really taken into account when making the map, so you could go easy. And there in the middle of this map, there were these people, they're shooting guns at each other. They walked there. They never skied, they just used their jets to go forward and then plop down on the ground every single time. And they were playing Call of Duty in the midfield. All of those players probably quit the game after 2 or 3 games where they are like, oh my god, this is like Battlefield, I've been walking. Well, if I can't get a vehicle, because there are vehicles in Tribes Ascend, if I can't get a vehicle, then I have to walk all the way to the other side of the map. We were flying over their heads, unaware of those below us. And they were the people we should have helped. We didn't even take a shot, because again, they were just Call of Dutying away, they were getting kills. Which doesn't matter in this game. Kills do not matter, it's when they happen. You can kill as many people as you want and not win a single game. There we are. So, yeah, and everything is unlockable, that's great. I've already said that, that's fine. Tutorial videos, yes. Tutorial videos, I made tutorial videos, I will be making tutorial videos, but the game has to teach itself. One of the larger problems of these type of games, I've been in the StarCraft community, I've been in the Quake community, I've been in the Tribes community. Main issue is the second generation of players. Now we have maybe a couple of hundred, well actually we had a lot of people, so we have let's say 3 to 4,000 people who have played Tribes before. I've seen a lot of videos of people who've played Tribes before. Right, and are bad, but they know the game, so they don't have to be onboarded. They'll be bad, they know they'll be bad. They will forevermore stay bad, but that's fine. But if you've never played this game before, you have to be able to learn this game inside the game. And I'm not just meaning practice lobbies and in-game tutorials, which I think there should be. But those tutorials need to be current and also update to the metagame. Because StarCraft is a beautiful example of that. You can play the campaign for StarCraft and then go into ranked mode and get trounced forevermore because you don't know the hardcore mechanics and you have to get taught those by videos and everything like that. Tribes is simple enough to get the basics across, but we have to do that. It is a very minute moment, those first moments of playing the game. If that's why, for to harp on my own thing again, maps. If you put your spawns up high, give a good slope, and force people to actually engage with the movement immediately, that's sometimes the only spark you need. And that was in Tribes 1 as well. A lot of the maps played, you were like a fledgling bird kicked out of the nest, and off you went. Because in Tribes 1, the skiing was inherent. It was on the space bar, didn't exist as a mechanic. You were just basically bunny hopping like in Quake. But if you fell off a high hill, you were skiing by the fact that you were going faster. So it's gonna be an interesting experiment, and I hope they get it right. And they are listening, devs are listening, and yeah. To me, that focus on easing the new players into the experience is a big deal. Thank you very much. So, Tribes isn't particularly difficult, but it is different. Hey! See, I'm not crazy. And getting accustomed to its ways takes time, especially when people are shooting at you. Myself, I never really got the hang of skiing. I could do it, but my consistency wasn't great, especially when I was chasing some guy while some guy was chasing me and the bullets are flying and stuff is exploding. And I don't know where I am or where the flag is, but I know I've got about 3 seconds to figure it out before I get plugged. A more forgiving environment in which to get smooth with the basics could go a long way towards helping newcomers avoid giving up in frustration. There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There is a lot of exploding, but there's also a lot of downtime. And if the terrain allows you to explore and bump around, have line of sight blocking so not everyone can see you, and there are, you know, not safe spaces, but still areas where you can take a breather and choose to go into combat. That is already a big step there. Again, I have that one hill. It is finely crafted, and I will remain here. There we are. That's a picture. Playtests thus far have been restricted to a 5v5 format. I hadn't heard. But the plan is to support 64-player matches in both casual and ranked play in the full game, along with custom matches and modes and support for user-generated content. So far mentioned user-generated content remixed from the content in the game. Currently not yet. Maps, height maps. You could rescale and resize and change the maps that are in the game, but good heavens, what would happen if I was allowed to upload a height map? Yes. Vehicles are not currently supported, but are expected to be added at some point in the future, and a single-player campaign is not planned, which is undoubtedly disappointed for fans of Tribe's Vengeance. Yes, we exist. I know you do. You're a hardy lot. But Prophecy said its goal is to release enough tools for the community to create a campaign of their own one day. Okay, so going the Fortnite route, that's fine. I don't really have a dog in that race, except for the Public reveal of Drive 3 started quietly with the launch of a Discord server in November to support its first alpha playtests, but it took off quickly. Prophecy said the Discord surpassed 5,000 members in its first week, and more than 10,000 people have signed up for playtesting. Yeah. Meteor strike. But let's watch for the tsunami, right? The next Drive 3 playtest is set to run from the evening of December 7th to December 8th. Oh look, it's December 6th. Twitch. And will feature matches larger than 5v5, specific sizes still to be determined, and other new content. Prophecy said it expects to send out significantly more access keys than it did for the last playtest. For a shot at that access, wishlist the game on Steam and sign up at drive3rivals.com. Regular. That is one of the articles. Many are going there, but I said my piece. I'll be here for it until development ends, and that might be a while, and I hope it to be a while. And yeah, this new playtest is going to be very interesting indeed, and I will be spending it mostly making tutorials, apparently. So there we are. Good. Onwards to new content.